In today's episode, we are going to learn about the React Virtual DOM. To understand React Virtual DOM, it's better first to understand what the DOM means. If you don't know that, I have another video for the description of a DOM, so you can go and check out that first because it will help you also to better understand what is the virtual DOM and what's the advantage of the virtual DOM in the React. So in a nutshell, DOM stands for the Document Object Model. So when the browser receives the HTML, let's say that in this case, browser has received this HTML, right? So what the browser does is browser parses that HTML and the browser builds the DOM tree. Browser builds a DOM tree based on that HTML. And it's basically that the tags are mapped to the nodes in that DOM tree. So for example, in this case, we have received three tags, right? Div, h1, and the p. So what will happen is on the DOM tree side, so we will have three nodes. One root node div, which will have two children, right? Which will have h1 and the p. And if let's say that the h1 has, if let's say that we have more divs, then in that case we are including that as a children for the root div. So that's a real DOM tree. And what happens in what's the advantage of the React? In the React, so what we do, we are creating this is a DOM tree that we have created based on the HTML that we have received, right? So what happens in the React? In the React, we are also creating a virtual DOM tree that looks like a following. So we have a type div, and we have another two types, h1 and the p, and we have the values, right? We have the values for the children as the hello and the welcome. So why we do that? What is the advantage of using this virtual DOM? So what happens is every time when we are updating the DOM, right? So let's say that we are updating in our real DOM tree. So we are updating this h1 value to hello. We are updating that to hi. So which means that we need to show that on the UI, right? We need to show that on the browser side. So for that, what the browser does is it updates the DOM, and then after that it does the followings, right? It does the style recalculation, layout, paint, and the composite. So what's the advantage of the DOM tree? But this is only one. In this case, we are updating only one tag here, right? We are updating the hello to hi. But imagine we have a large page with a lot of tags, and those tags are constantly getting updated and so on. So we want to spend as less resources as possible to that activity, right? So that's where the React shines. So in React, so what we do is we are maintaining a state for each of these, right? So for each of the tags, we are maintaining their state. And then whenever one of the states has changed, so for example, hello changed to hi, so we have initially created a DOM tree, right? So we have initially created a virtual DOM tree here. So what we do is every time one of the values are changing here, we are creating a new DOM tree. We are creating a new virtual DOM tree, and we are comparing with the old virtual DOM tree, right? And then we are finding out the differences, and then after that we are updating the real DOM and the kicking off the repaint process. So in this case, we are just saving the resources. It's more lightweight, and also React better works in scale. So what it means is, so let's say that we have large pages with a lot of tags, and we are constantly updating. So in that case, React streamline that process and batches those updates, and creates a new virtual DOM for every update that we are doing on the page side, and compares that with the old one, and then after that updates our real DOM tree. So real DOM tree doesn't get updated all the time. So if we put that into the one diagram, how exactly it looks like. So we are going to talk about the set state in our next episode. So basically for each variable that we are creating, we are maintaining the state on the React side. When we are updating the state of that variable, so what happens is, right? So we are creating a new DOM, which is basically a JavaScript object, and it's a very lightweight, so we are not spending that much resources on it. So after that, we are comparing that with our previous old virtual DOM tree. So that process is called diffing, and after that we find so we have a different algorithms. In the future we will talk about in details how exactly they look like. So after comparing that, so what we do is we are updating our real DOM tree, and that process is called the reconciliation. So to compare, right? So what we have here, let's say we have a counter example. So let's say we have a variable counter, and we need to do the minimum update to our DOM tree. So in our old DOM tree, so what we have this h2 tag, which has the value of the 0, and we are updating that, right? So on the real DOM side, the value is 0. So when we are changing that value to 1 on the UI side, so what we do is we are creating a new virtual DOM tree, and we are comparing that with the previous one, and we see that there is a difference. And now we are only updating the h2. We are updating the reference, right? We are updating the text content change. So we are updating that to 1. So we are setting that value to 1 and on the real DOM side, and then after that we are retriggering the paint on the real DOM side. So what is let's compare that, right? Well, let's compare how exactly it works on the real DOM side and with the virtual DOMs, and what is the advantages. So for example, on the virtual DOM, let's say that we need to update this value, right? So when it gets messy is, so let's say that we have a lot of tags where we need to update the value. So then we need to do that manually, all of these processes, right? So we need to, on our side, we need to find from our document, from our DOM tree, we need to find that h1 tag, and we need to set the value. We need to call the text content, and we need to set that value to 1. So what is the disadvantage here? The disadvantage is that we are searching DOM tree each time, right? It's slower. It's only one tag, it's only one value, but imagine that we have a large page and we are updating a lot of values. So this process of searching and updating our page, it happens for every changes that we are making. But on the React side, so what we do is we are keeping the reference, right? So we are keeping the reference, and there is no search. We are just updating the value for that specific tag. So let's go take another example. So for example, in this example, right? So we have here one more example. So here, when we are searching for when we want to update the value on the React side, on the UI side, right, on the HTML. So what we do is we are searching in that DOM. So we are searching in that document. We are either searching by element ID, or we are searching by query selector. For example, here we are searching by query selector and setting that value. So for each of those cases, we are first searching and then updating the value. For example, let's compare this. Let's take this very specific example, right? Let's say we have a list of the users, Alice, Bob, and Orkin, and we are adding we want to add or delete the value from this list, right? And we are not using the React. So what's going to happen is, if we are maintaining that state manually, so what's going to happen is, in our render list, so we have the document, so get by element ID, so we are getting the user list, and then first we are removing, so we are wiping everything from that list, right? So we are setting that to empty, and then after that, so what we do for each element, we are going and creating a new list, and then we are creating a new list, and then we are setting the value, setting the text content. So we are setting the text for that list, and we are adding that to our user lists, right? So that's what happens when we are every time calling this function. So first, let's say that we just created that list, and now we want to add one more value to that list, right? So we are pushing Diana, so we want that also updated on the UI. So what will happen is we are going to call the render list one more time. So what it will do, it will remove every user from that list, right? And it will recreate them again. And that process will run again and again when we are updating that manually. So, for the advantage on the React side, so what we do, so we have a virtual DOM. So we have created a virtual DOM. We have initial version of it. And whenever we are adding a value, So which means that we are changing the state of the users, right? So what we'll do is, what will happen? So we'll create a new virtual DOM, and we will compare with the previous one, and we are going to update only that. We are going to add only one user there, right, Diana? So that whole process will not run.